What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLDB Games coming at you with another cool video, and we are back in Rustic City and Planet Coaster, of course. And today we are going to be doing a lot of different things. So what we're going to be doing is a little bit of a time lapse here. We're going to be finishing up a couple of details, and we're going to be doing some stuff. So what I have officially decided for this park is that I'm actually going to make this a custom scenario. And what that means is I'm going to allow you guys to play the scenario and make it challenging so you guys can beat it. So in other words, it is going to be kind of what it is right now. I'm not going to be really adding much more to this park. I'm just going to be finishing up some last minute details, some details in the next couple of episodes. And this episode we're actually going to be setting a lot of the scenario settings, and that's why the video is a little bit longer than most episodes, is because we're going to be going into real time and we're actually going to be adjusting all that stuff in that menu, and it's going to be really cool. So I recorded all that kind of live, and this commentary is over the time lapse. So this time lapse is going to be awesome, so guys, we're going to have a lot of stuff to show you, and we're going to be just overall just finishing up this park. The way this is going to be going is that this scenario is basically going to be in theme with JLW Entertainment, because I have said before that this is officially going to be part of the JLW Entertainment chain, but the way it is actually going to be storylined is that JLW Entertainment has decided to cut the funding for this park, so they are not going to finish construction on it, and it is going to be left for you guys to finish it up. So what that means is that it's essentially going to be an incomplete park scenario kind of thing, and you are going to have to step in and finish the park up. That's going to be the storyline. So in other words, the main storyline is going to basically be JLW Entertainment cut the funds for this park. The reason being is so they can add some funding into Time City. So this park was under construction. It was expected to open this coming season, but they have decided to cut the funding, and it's going to be up to you to finish what they started. And that's going to be kind of like an exciting little scenario. I've been wanting to do a custom scenario forever, like a full-on custom scenario that you guys can enjoy and play, that really shows off my building building style that I've done, and this is going to allow you guys to do that. And really, it's going to be easier on me to finish this project up, because this is going to be I've been wanting to make this a scenario almost since the beginning, and I actually made that decision not too long ago that I'm going to make this a scenario for you guys. So I'm going to be finishing up some of the details of this park, and we're just going to go in and pretty much make it a custom scenario, and I'm going to be testing it out a couple of times. So that's kind of why I decided to do the settings on the custom scenario today. That way I have plenty of time to test it out, to make sure that the scenario editor is where it needs to be. All the numbers need to be where they need to go, be adjusted and everything like that, to make it challenging but yet doable at the exact same time. So I want you guys to try it out for yourself after this part gets done, and the scenario editor is amazing. So the idea from this scenario editing park is going to be pretty much that it's going to be it's a heavily detailed, smaller, kind of rustic kind of park, and it's up to you to build it bigger and really add on to it. So there's going to be different objectives. Most of the objectives is pretty much going to be building rides, coasters, and making money and making it successful. That's going to be the idea behind the objectives for this park and how it's all going to play out. So this is actually a shorter time lapse than what I've been doing before. I think I have about just under 50 minutes of footage here that you're watching, and then we go into kind of like the custom settings, and that's why the video is as long as it is, because there's just the real time had to be done with the settings. That way you can see pretty much all the adjustments of the settings that we're going to be doing for the park and the idea of how it's going to go. Of course, those numbers will be adjusted after some testing goes through it, and making sure that it plays nicely and all that's fun stuff. So I'm excited for this, and we're still going to have quite a few episodes left on this park. just to kind of finish it up and make it whole and finish up all the details that I need to finish, and then I'm going to hand it over to you guys, where you guys can do whatever you want in this scenario, and it's going to be fun. And I like the storyline that I came up with it, and you know, because not all parks end up getting finished, and I liked the idea of that, you know, that JLW Entertainment was working on this park, and they just kind of, you know, had to cut some funds in some areas, and they decided to cut the funds on this park, which made a lot of people sad. So they have decided to sell it to someone who wants to finish the park, and that was their idea. So it will still open, just not under the JLW Entertainment name. And you know, I just like to create this kind of universe where JLW Entertainment exists. So as of right now, the current JLW Entertainment chain is currently Westwood, Arrow Valley, and Celebration City as of this coming season. So once the park season officially starts, those are going to be the parks that are going to be opening, and the chain is going to have those 3 parks while they construct their very next park, which is going to be Time City, which will be the 4th park in the chain. So yeah, so I'm very excited, and I can't wait. I would love to do possibly some more abandoned parks. It's a lot of fun, you know, maybe like Six Flags New Orleans or something like that, something interesting. I love doing that kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's a recreation, but you're kind of doing it yourself, which is a very interesting take on it. So I always have interesting to do with that. So anyways, this is a very, very exciting part, because what we're doing here is actually creating this little construction site where they were building more onto the park, but this is kind of where they stopped. So you have to go in there and get the construction crews going to actually finish it up. So a lot of credit goes to a couple of the blueprints on these, and I don't have the names on me right now, but they some brilliant blueprints that belong to some people that created the construction vehicles and stuff like that. Those are really, really nice, and I don't want to take any credit for those, but you can find those on the Steam Workshop for sure. And yeah, so what you're going to be doing in this scenario technically is you're going to be really taking over for where JLW Entertainment left off, and you're going to create the park that this little cities deserve. So it's going to be a nice little charming park, and it's up to you to complete Rustic City. And in a way, yes, some might be thinking, oh, he's just rushing this and he's abandoning it, but at the same time, I'm not really doing that. I'm just making it a scenario, and when you do that, you don't really make the full park. You just don't. You have to make some building areas for you just have to make some areas to where people can build, and that's the idea. But on the scenario editor, is you make sure that if you're making a scenario, you have to leave open space and just create some environments that people are going to be able to build in. So that's kind of the idea behind that, and you'll see more of the more environmental stuff in the next coming episodes. What we're going to be doing is just creating more environments for this style of park, and it's going to be put together quite nicely. So I decided to put some like little animatronic guys in here, act like they're actually working and stuff like that. So I didn't want to put too much in the construction site where you guys can't have enough room to build, and it's going to take forever to delete everything once you actually start building in this area. But it's all up to you, of course. If you want to delete it all, that's easy. All you got to do is do the multi-select tool and just like hover over everything, and you can delete stuff very, very quickly. So I don't think it's too much of a big deal of having all this construction stuff in here. And if you're like me, you like to build realistically sometimes, and even, you know, make it everything look like a construction site, like something's actually being built. I like doing that a lot, and I just have like an obsession over doing kind of fun stuff like that, and that's just how it goes. So anyways, I hope you guys are going to enjoy I've enjoyed this park as much as I have, and it's always has been kind of like a little side project. It hasn't been meant to be a very big project in the first place, but again, I'm on a schedule where I just want to get stuff completed, and right now I really want to focus on Arrow Valley, getting that done. I love Rustic City to death, and I think this is just a good spot for it, is to kind of make it differ from like a main project and stuff. It's not really a main project, and it never was meant to be. So I think a custom scenario was the perfect idea for this. So anyways, I hope you guys understand all that. I know, again, in the comments, some people are probably going to go, oh, he's just cheating his way out of this series to where he can't say that he didn't abandon it. But in a way, I thought it would be a little funny to hit those comments that always say that I abandoned stuff and actually make a scenario saying, hey, JLW Entertainment abandoned this park, so it's up to you. You know, kind of that thing, you know. And in the sense, you know, it is kind of a thing where I do want to complete this, but I want to complete it correctly. And even though it is just going to be a scenario where it's going to be a lot of empty space, I think it's a great idea, and I think you guys will enjoy having a scenario by me that you can really just go out there and enjoy and work on the park yourself based off of what I have provided you. So, but I'm very excited for this, just the way it is right now, and you know, I thought it was I think it's a great idea, and it was never meant to be a huge project. It was just meant to be heavily detailed and different things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This next section here that we're about to get into is the real time, where I actually work on the settings for the scenario editor. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the time lapse so far. So anyways, thank you guys for all your support, and I know a lot of you will like this idea. Probably some of you will hate it, but yeah. So without further ado, we're going to get into the real-time section where we work on the scenario editor settings. Alright guys, I hope you guys have been enjoying the time-lapse, and now we're going into just a little bit of a real-time portion of the video, which I don't usually do, but for this purpose I'm going to. So as I mentioned previously, this is going to be a scenario to play for you guys, and that's kind of the idea. I decided to go with this park. It was originally going to be a full project, kind of a smaller park and stuff, but now I've decided to go off and let you guys complete this park pretty much, for in a way of saying it in that way. So this park was you know, meant to just be very heavily detailed and everything like that, and I've decided to go with this direction simply because I want to you know, I've been wanting to do a scenario for some time, and I think this is the perfect park to do that. So as you can see, we do have a roller coaster, which took forever, by the way. I hope you guys appreciate what I did do with this ride, and that it will serve you well once you get into the scenario. So so there's not going to be a whole lot of more episodes for this park, and what we did in the time lapse, of course, is create kind of like this construction area. So the story behind this scenario is pretty much going to be it's an abandoned project by JLW Entertainment that they were going to build, and then they've kind of went off and decided to do more they had to make some budget cuts for the park, like Time City and stuff. So Time City needed more budget, so they decided to cut this park and sell what they already have made. And you're going to be the person that's taking over and pretty much finishing up the park. So that's kind of the cool idea that I had with this scenario. So I think it's kind of ironic, because a lot of people in the comments, kind of the negative comments I get a lot, is that I abandon parks a lot. And you know, I wouldn't say I'm abandoning this park technically, but I'm going to pretty much just make it a scenario instead and not build too much in it. That way it leaves you guys the ability to play it and become really, really cool. So, but yeah, this was never meant to be a main project in the first place, so I'm just excited to see what you guys do with it. And there's still a lot to do here, but I'm just getting into the scenario editor settings and stuff. I'm going to set all this stuff, that way I can begin testing it, getting it ready for you guys, so I can actually get in and do a little bit more with this. So what we're going to do here is Rustic City, a player created scenario. So we're going to go ahead and type in our little bit of a story here. So JLW Entertainment has dropped this park to fund let's see, how should we do the description here? JLW Entertainment, which I just like deleted that, but I decided to go in anyways. But it's kind of funny. So this is going to be like the first message that you see when it pops up. JLW Entertainment has abandoned if I can even remember it. So let's see. JLW Entertainment has, oh, what kind of words should we do? As D, I don't know why my D was capitalized. Cancel the construction of this park. You have taken over to finish it, but you have just a small, hopefully I have enough in here, amount of cash. Can you finish what they started? Question mark. There we go. Let's see. That sounds like a pretty good. JLW Entertainment has decided to cancel the construction of this park. You have taken over to finish it, but you have just a small amount of cash. Can you finish what they started? All right, that's good. I think that's good because this is like the summed up versions of what we're gonna have in like the Steam Workshop. So what we're going to be doing is adding some objectives here. So we're going to add our first objective. We're going to do the bronze objective. So I'm also kind of tempted to start on hard to kind of see what our ultimate accomplishment could be. But to start this off, you know, obviously we're going to want to complete the park. So I think the bronze objective should be kind of like the construction side of things here. So what I think what a good thing to add is build rides or coasters here. So I think the bronze one should build rides, and we want to, let's go ahead and build 5 rides, and we're going to exclude coasters and tracked rides. That way coasters do not count in that count. So that way they're going to have to build 5 attractions, and you can add conditions as well. So there can be deadlines, excitement ratings, stuff like that. And I think we're going to actually add some deadlines on this. That way you have just a small amount of time to get this done. So you're going to have a deadline to get this all built. And what we're going to be doing is saying, okay, by the end of October year 1, that way it can be ready for year 2 pretty much, or something like that. But I don't know, should we do a deadline? We could do a deadline. I'm going to go ahead and keep the deadline out for right now, and that's how we're going to do. So let's see, that one can be confirmed. So that is our first easy objective. Build 5 rides. Again, this is going to be on the easy difficulty, so don't want anything too incredibly hard. So another thing that we want to have is raise the park rating a little bit, probably, as it is 825 right now. I might hold off on that one. Let's see what we can do here. Guest happiness, firework display, total money, pay off loans, park value. I think a park value one would definitely be a good idea. I don't know what the park value is currently, so this one will be adjusted probably. Let's see, and we can do minimum park rating, loans repaid. For right now, again, I'm going to test these. So for right now, let's do 30,000. Let's take a look at what our park value is right now. If I can go ahead and find that park value would be under finances. I would imagine it would be under finances, but you never know. Park value. So breakdown, scenery rating, longest coaster. Oh, so here's all your statistics. And okay, so I'm gonna say under finances, balance. Wouldn't be, oh, here it is, park value. So we're already at 112,000. I might leave this out just because there's so many details that's adding to that park value. Wrong button. So let's see. Let's edit in here. It's already over 100,000. So, oh man, that's gonna be a tough one. So I might just get rid of that one because that might not be doable. How about we just go ahead and do a guest count for right now? And we'll start off with, oh, let's try 500 guests. And this one we can add a deadline. I'll go ahead and make this one October of year number 1. There we go. And that can be a good, easy start. Now on the medium difficulty, I already know what I want to do. I want to build coasters. So we're going to go to build coasters, and I believe that if I put 1, that it's already going to be checkmarked because of that. Apply to go-karts instead of coaster. We don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and place it at 2 because we want to build at least 2, and we want a minimum excitement rating of at least 6. So it needs to be in the green. That will be kind of a little challenge when you add that excitement rating option in there. Alright, so we're going to go back to medium here, and we're going to say, let's do kind of the similar as the last one. We're just going to keep adding on to these. 600. Attract 600 guests. And we want this done by a deadline, because I think I added a deadline on this one by October year 1. Yep. And this one, we're going to do the 600 guests by, let's go May of year 2. I kind of want this time-based, so yeah, a specific amount of time you have to get these done. Again, I'm going to, that's May of year 2. So that gives you a little extra time to get from 500 to 600, and I'm probably going to have to, let's go 650. Probably going to have to change these based on of how the tests go. Alright, and then the final deadline one, this is what we're going to want to do. We're going to want to make sure we get, we're going to do the guest count one as well, but at this point you should already have your rides and everything done. So we want to get that park rating up possibly. Let's do park rating, oh, I don't know. Let's go with 1500-ish. 1520. All ratings. You can do ride rating or scenery rating. That's interesting. This is just a spot that we want to be at. So let's have this done by March, April, May. Let's give October year 2. So in other words, you want to try and get this done by October year 2. That way it's kind of got a deadline to it, so you have a little bit of urgency that you have to worry about too as well. So we got the park rating set. Again, I'll test it depending on where we end up with our park rating at the end, and I'll adjust these numbers as accordingly as possible. So, and then on the final one, we also want to do probably some park profits here. Oh, what other stuff we have? We have lots of different things that we can change this to, but park profits is a good one. Park value. Total money. Let's try total money. I think that's a good idea. We want to get us up to. Let's not do something too ridiculous. Let's go about. Let's have a start at 30,000, and we're gonna have this one. Park rating deadline. Let's make the deadline the same as the last one. So you got to worry about a couple things at once, and that's just kind of a start right there. So as you can see, we have build 5 rides, attract 500 guests. Medium's similar. You have to have build 2 coasters. Actually, I can take this one down to 1 because the other coaster actually does not have the minimum excitement of 6.0, so I can actually leave that one like that and it won't count it. So that works right there. Attract 650 guests, so the guest one I might adjust accordingly depending on how many guests are coming into the park and everything like that. So and then you have the hard rating of the park rating, and these numbers I think I'll just have to adjust as I go along. So pretty much you're just trying to create a successful park. You pretty much have to complete the park first and then just earn money, and park rating wants to go up. So you want to make it successful after you complete building. So I think the 5 rides is reasonable, the coaster is reasonable, and we'll adjust those as we go along. So going into the next tab, we're going to be going through all of this stuff, by the way, to make sure all this is good. So what we have over here is we have the opening and closing times. Doesn't have to be ridiculous. I think we can go from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I think that's a good kind of like, small park hours right there. About 8 hours time. So scenario start time, we want to go ahead and start it at 10 a.m. at opening. Park wide breakdown rate. So this is how often I think your rides are going to be breaking down. I think we're going to keep these all just kind of generic where they're at. So terrain editing cost, I'm going to rank this, make this go up as much as possible. I'm going to, if you want to adjust the terrain, it is going to cost you, but I will allow it. I am okay with that. Park capacity, allow the player to edit the park capacity. I think that's fine too, whoever wants to put it on there. And for now, I think I'm going to keep it at 1,500. Actually, let's go ahead and make the minimum or maximum about park capacity about 1,000 because it is small right now, and I'll allow the get player to change it if they would like to. That's fine. Remove all clutter on start. Yes, we'll go ahead and check mark that, even though there shouldn't be anything there. Track restrictions, allow the player to disable track restrictions. I am fine with that. I'll let them have, I don't really care about the limitations on their rides, but then again, if I had the disable off where they can't use disabled restrictions, then it makes it a little more difficult possibly to get to those ratings that is provided. So that's interesting. So now we're going to go head into the finance page, unlimited money, uncheck that, and we start with a small amount of cash. So the player is not going to be starting with a ton of money here. So it's going to be in the part where you can make money from what you have, but you only have a small amount. So you're going to be starting with about $3,000, and I want to make the money management side of this very challenging. So I think 3,000 is a good amount, so you can actually build a couple rides to get started possibly, and go from there. And then as for loans, I'm going to make it very minimal here. So you're going to be able to do, let's see, you can get, I don't want to do the 10,000 one. I want to make it pretty challenging. So what I'm going to do is make the $1,000 loan available, and we're also going to make the 3,000 loan available, and I don't want to have any of them active, but just make those two available. The refund multiplier, so this is if you make a mistake. I'm going to always turn that one down just a little bit. Alright, and that's good financially, I think. So you're going to be starting with only $3,000 to work with right at the beginning, and I might adjust that to be even lower depending on how challenging the tests are. Again, I'm going to be changing all these eventually once all that works. So research-wise, this is going to be the interesting one. So as for scenery, I'm going to filter this. I think just the generic stuff right now is all in the available. So available on this is unlocked, stuff that is already unlocked. So what we're going to do is I'm going to select all of these. We're going to add an unavailable, and we are going to pretty much kind of go through these and what we want throughout. So we're going to start off with scenery because most of these all already have available. So I'm going to go ahead and select these scenery pieces, and I'm going to allow these to already be available. And we're going to make these all available right at the beginning. Yeah, we can even have special effects available already too. So that's going to be, that scenery is good. Now we're going to go in and go buildings. I think this is all good as well. I don't really want limits on what you can build, so I don't mind having these already available right at the beginning. That is all fine. Alright, and now, let's see, let's go ahead and start with tracked rides. So this is the tracked rides available, and you can do a researchable, so you can make stuff researchable. So what I'm going to do is, what should we make available at the start? I'm going to say the steam trains can go ahead and be available right at the beginning. So if you want to have a steam train, that's fine. I'm going to make the monorail unavailable, actually. Or make the log flume researchable along with the rapids ride, and I'm actually going to nest these, so you can't research this until this one's researched. And then I'm gonna make this available right there. Oh man, I messed up. Yep, didn't think that would work. Okay, so I gotta get these back over here. Accidentally had them selected, so we'll nest these. Alright, tracked rides is good. Now let's go ahead and head into the facilities. Now this one's going to be important, so let's go ahead and have Cosmic Cow available. Gulpy, toilet obviously, information kiosk, Chief Beef can be available at the beginning. I'll make first aid available. Hat's fantastic. And those are going to be available at the beginning. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I did it again. I keep forgetting these are selected. You just got to deselect them first. Alright, so anyways, researchable, we will make, let's go through our drinks. These are our drink shops right here, Pip Shot and Street Fox Coffee. And we're going to go ahead and nest those. Alright. And let's see. Next is the, let's go ahead and do the food restaurants. Wherever we want to do them, we will. Oh, we gotta put these in a certain order. I want, let's go ahead and put these at the top. Tiki mix it. That's good. That's a good order. Alright, and we'll nest those. So they are all together. ATM, we will make, let's go ahead and make that researchable. But we're going to put these three in here. And, in fact, I'm going to move this one down to the bottom. These three will be nested, and that will be that. Okay, so can you put nests within nests? I don't know. One nest selected. Huh. Well, that was interesting. I didn't know what that was going to do, so I was just interested in seeing what it was going to do. Okay, so we will, I guess we have to re-nest these. Just like that. Alright. Alright, those are what are nested, so now we got the facilities done. Next is, we're going to go ahead and do the flat rides. So what I'm going to make available at the start, I don't want to have too many available at the start, we are going to have the big wheels, so just a classic Ferris wheel. And as for, we'll make the carousel available, so these are like our tame rides. At the beginning here, we can make those all good. As for thrill rides, I don't want to have anything too ridiculous. We'll have the chair plane in there, bump and derby already available, and then pretty much just one flat, thrilling flat ride, and we'll make that insanity. That way, you can't just go straight into the thrill rides, you're going to have to research them. So, yeah, so as for flat rides, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the thrill rides here first. Family, 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 thrill, thrill, thrill. And I do want to make everything pretty much available ride-wise. But you're just going to have to research them all. Alien Rings, Scissor, Tri-Storm, Zozo, Elixir, Pathos 3, Iron Claw, and that's it. Alright, so we're going to add these in here, and we're going to nest pretty much all these, but I'm going to have to put them in the order that I want. So what we're going to be doing is I want these two towards at the top, because they're kind of like the more mild thrill rides that are out there. So they're going to make a jump to the top. There's a lot more in here than I thought there would be. There we go. Alright, so Scissor and Tri-Storm. It's going to be right up there at the top. Okay. And I think we're in a pretty good... Yeah, those are good in the area that they're at. I don't want to put these tall rides further down. We're going to put... Let's put the cube a little bit higher up here. I'm going to put Psychola down because I don't care. We don't care about that one as much. Alright, so now I think that's a good order. So what we have here... Oh gosh. So we're going to go ahead and select all the thrill rides, and we're going to nest them together. That way they are all together. And you can only research one thrill ride at a time. That's kind of the idea that we're going to be going with this. Alright, nest those together. Excellent. Alright, so those are all nested together, and those are your thrill rides. Now we got the family rides. I'm going to select all those, and we are going to put them in here. So now we got the family rides. And I don't think I'm going to really care about if these are in order. The order of these very much. And if I do, oh well. For right now, it is good. But I did want to make every ride available. All the flat rides, so those are good. Alright, so we got those, and now it's time for the fun part, roller coasters. That's the only thing left, I believe, and as available at the beginning, we're going to, of course, have the mine train. If I can find it. The canyon runner will be available, of course, already, because we have one in the park. And then let's go ahead and make the wooden coaster monster available as well. And let's go ahead and make the junior coaster also available if I can find it. I want the dragon one. Dragon one's my fave. Okay. So you don't have a whole lot available to you because of your funding, so you're going to have to research a lot of the good coasters. So the first one And I'm not going to make all these available because of what we have. So the first larger attraction you're going to be able to work with is going to be the spinning coaster. That will be available first. And you're just going to really just kind of work your way up. I'm going to put these in the order that I want them. That way it will be a little bit easier to get them going. So there's Hop the Gaps. And let's see what other coasters that we want to do after this one. I want to make some larger ones available, but you're going to have to research stuff first to get to those larger rides. So the first one is that. And let's see, let's go ahead and add the Trident, or the Deegan. I think the Trident's the Boomerang. So we'll make the Boomerang available first. And then the American Arrow will be after that. If I can find it. So the American Arrow, there it is. Now you're getting into more lovely stuff here. So after the American Arrow is when we can really start getting into stuff. We can go ahead and do the Gerstlauer Eurofighter model, and we're trying to work our way into possibly B&M here, so you can finally get into some B&M coasters. But after that, let's go ahead and do the Gnarler, the GCI Woody. And alright, now we're going to let's go ahead and add our first B&M that will be available. Go ahead and just do the simple Werewolf, which is the floorless coaster. And after that, we're going to be able to do the inverted coaster. And now the dive coaster. And then finally, we'll get into some RMC coasters here. After that. So you get the RMCs. And I don't want to make too much more available to use. I'll go ahead and we need a launch coaster, so I'll put the Torque in there. Do want to make sure I have that in there available. And then finally, the last one, let's go ahead and make the Zenith available. And then water coaster can be last, because that's a good invention there. Alright, so again, I'm not going to make all these, all the coasters are not going to be available, because I don't want there to be like, Giga coasters will not be available or anything like that, or Hypers, all that stuff. You're going to have to think a little bit smaller when you think these rides. So we're going to nest those. These are unavailable, and I believe that is it. Is just the unavailable coasters that we have provided, which will be unavailable during play. And these might change as I go along, but for right now, I think that's a good start. All right, now we're going into the marketing side of things. And we got max campaigns. We can do 3. Those are all good on marketing. I'll go ahead and keep that. Allow the player to toggle staff features. Note, we're going to make sure you're going to manage these staff features, so we're going to have those on. And then general settings, default park rating, show for staff decline. And since our park rating is so high, I'm going to go ahead and set this really high at 800. Because it shouldn't get much really any lower than that. So as for guests, this is going to be more of a family park, family-oriented park. So you're going to see a lot of families coming in, and not a whole lot of adults. So just going to even that out just a little bit. There we go. Alright, so the group and singles there. Teenagers, we'll go ahead and make that a little bit more group oriented, and then adults, we'll go ahead and just go 50-50. Alright, and then I'll just keep everything normal on this because it is not going to affect what we're doing. So we got medium, and spawn with a trait, which is 10%. Let's go ahead and bump it up to 15, so something's different on there. And then the crime rates, max number of guests for pickpockets, and so this is just all the different kind of crime chances and stuff like that. And I think that's pretty good. So as for that, we're pretty decent on that. And again, I just wanted to do that, and then we're gonna have a couple more time lapses left to go to kind of just finish up the details in the park, and we're gonna go from there. So hope you guys enjoy this series. I know a lot of people probably might get upset that this is going to be a scenario now, but I'm gonna let it up to you guys, and I actually have been wanting to make a scenario anyways, so I thought this was a perfect park to try and get that going, and I made a story with it that I am not essentially abandoning it, but I'm making it a scenario instead. So even though it says that I abandoned it in the thing. So anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more awesome content like this, and we'll have a couple more episodes for Rustic City, and we'll get it completed, and it will be available on the Steam Workshop once it is completed, and I'm gonna have to test it out a couple times too as well. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure you have a great day and aim cooler tomorrow. Thanks so much, and have a good day. Don't know where I was going with that exit, but anyways, goodbye.